Hello and welcome to this fly tying video. My name is Casper Hansen and today I'll be tying the Vimo fly. Vimo is a Finnish salmon fly, very popular all over Scandinavia and also one of my favorites. I really like these slim, long, black winged flies, and I think the Vimo is a very nice one. Of course, it's inspired by the sunray shadow and the whole story behind those flies, but I think the Vimo is a nice modern version of a long black winged fly. I tie it today with the green body, but you could actually change it, tie it with a red or a pearl or whatever kind of body you want. I tie it on the Pro Flexitube. I think that is actually a very nice tube for this fly, and I will show you why. Because one of the challenges with a Vimo fly, in my opinion, is that sometimes you can build up a head that is too big and too wide. And the Pro Flexitube can help you make quite a small head. We start out with a clear tube. I just cut it down because it's too long when you take it out of the bag. I make a fly that's about 1 inch, maybe a little bit more, on the tube length, and then I cut on the small part here. I cut it quite close to the large part of the tubing. Then I take my lighter here and then I burn a small I just press it up against the vise just to make sure that it has a nice color to it here. Then I put it on my needle and I start out with a white GSP thread, because I think it's really good when you work with these, especially these hair materials. You want to tie them in very hard to make sure that they don't go anywhere. At first, I'm gonna tie the body. I use this Fluo Chartreuse Flatbraid. The original was tied with some Chartreuse thread, but I think this gives a really nice color and shine to the fly. I tie it in underneath the tube here. A few tight wraps, and then I go back all the way down here to the thin tube. Then I take the flat braid, and it's quite a nice material because you can stretch it a little bit without it taking any of the flesh away. So I take just one loose turn here, and then I just pull it to make it flat and tie it in and wrap it all the way up. This way I get a nice even body. When I come up here to the part where I have to go down on the smaller tube, again I hold onto this tubing and then I stretch this quite hard, because then I can almost form it on this part so you can't see that I go down on the lower part, like that. Then I cut off the rest here, like that. And then I make sure it sits where I want it to. Nice, even body. Now I'm gonna tie in the wing, and the wing is where the magic happens. So we want a nice, long, tapered black wing. At first I tie in an underwing from some black bucktail. I want my wing to be nicely tapered, which means I want it to be wide up front and then thin and long toward the end. I try to even out these bucktail fibers as much as possible, but it's really nice that they have a small tapering to them, which they do now. The first part of the wing I want to be a little bit longer than the tube is. So I'm gonna tie it in here. And then I'm gonna first 2 loose wraps to make sure that it sits where I want it to be. And then I press down with my thumb to make it wide. So it's almost half of the tube for the first part here. Then a few tight wraps. And with the GSP thread, I can really pull hard on the thread because it is so strong. Then I cut away the ends here. And with a wing like this, where I have to build it up over 3-4 bunches of hair, I just want to make sure that everything stays in place. So I'm just going to give it a small drop of super glue. Put it on the thread and wrap it a few times. Now I'm gonna do the second wing, and you can use a lot of different kinds of black hair for this. The most important part is that it's slim and not have too much volume. You want a slim, long fly that swims very nice in the current. And I use this goat looking hair, and I take a piece out here of not the longest part, because this is the second wing, and I want this to be a little bit longer than the first wing I tied in. Again, I'm just gonna take away these small hair down in the end. And then I just gonna look and see if there's some things that I want to take away here. Maybe a few. And now comes one of my small tips if you want to make small heads on your flies. When you use materials like this, goat or something else, just gonna see, okay, I want this length. Then I take the hair in the exact length. Then I take this one, and then because these hair are round, they fill up quite a lot. But if I press them, I can make them almost flat without hurting them without taking the strength away from the hair. But when I tie it in, it doesn't take up so much space now. I make sure I put it just on top of the bucktail wing here. Again, I start out with 2 loose wraps to make sure that it is where I want it to. Then I press it down. The second wing I want also to be a little bit wide. Like this. And then I'm gonna give it a couple of very hard turns. Again, I cut off and the reason why I do this now and not wait till the end is because now I can also put in a little bit of glue here to make sure that these hair doesn't move and will stay in place. Just a little bit of super glue and a few hard wraps. Then it's time for a little bit of flash. I don't want a lot, but just something that will swim nicely with the wing. I take just a strand of this pearl flash and I tie it in, 1 strand on each side. This, and I just fold it over. So now I have 2 strands of pearl flash. Now I'm going to take the last part of the wing, which is also the smallest bunch, because now I just want this to be on top of the rest. And it should be a long, thin black wing here that tapers nicely. The first 2 I tied in and tried to make them a little bit wide. The last one here I want to keep quite slim and on top of the rest. So I just gonna put it in here, see how long I want it. Maybe something like this. Again, I'm gonna press the hair flat to make sure it doesn't take up too much space. Two loose turns, make sure that it stays in place, and then a few hard ones. Then I'm going to cut off like this. And then put a little bit of super glue in here. Just to make sure it doesn't move, go anywhere. I want this fly to have a black head, so I'm just gonna change the thread now. I use this black Veevus thread to finish off the fly. And a fly like the Vimo has jungle cocks on each side, and I'm gonna put this on. I use these Pro synthetic jungle cocks, and I like these very much. Sometimes if I want to make a fly like this that is quite long, I also want these jungle cocks to be a little bit longer than they are from the beginning. So when I pick them out, I just cut them a little bit longer. So I just do like this, and I get maybe 2, 3, 4 millimeters extra, which I think works perfectly and looks really, really good on these flies. The size I use for this one is the XX small. I don't like too big jungle cocks on my flies, so using this XX small I think is perfect. I tie it in just here where the wing and the body meets each other. And just a few loose wraps. Take the other one. And now it's just time to form a nice head. Again, I'm just gonna get some help from the super glue. Put a little bit on my thread. Make sure I cover up all the white. Now I'm more or less done, but I'll show you a little extra trick. If I have put on a little bit too much of super glue on my fly, instead of leaving it or instead of trying to take it away with my fingers, I just take, sometimes when you have a cape of feathers, there's some bad feathers in it, and I can just take the extra super glue and put it on the feather by just letting it soak up the rest of it, like this. So we don't have big drops or extra super glue on the fly. I finish with a little whip finish knot here. And then I have a Vimo that is very, very strong, because I make sure that when I tie in the wing, I use some glue, but also with a nice, quite small head, because I tie it on the Pro tube, the Flexitube here, which helps me because I can tie it on the small tubing. The last part, just to make sure that the wing mixes in well, is to brush it a little bit. And there you have it, a nice Vimo fly. When I fish the Vimo fly, I often fish it like this with the single hook that I mount up in the large tube.